Hello, welcome to Incentive Time. My name is Kelvin, and today we are continuing our discussion on the application of the Nigerian Tax Act 2025, as it relates to financial returns filed by companies with the Nigerian Revenue Service, NRS. In our previous broadcast, we stated our professional position that all financial returns should be prepared based on the 2025 tax laws that were in operation at the time the underlying business activities took place. Fortunately, the government aligned with this position and promptly issued the transition guidelines. Ironically, however, we understand that the NRS does not entirely share this position, as they have reportedly been issuing letters instructing taxpayers to file returns based on the new tax regime that took effect in 2026. Yes, you may say I'm just a child, but as I said in the previous broadcast, I may be a child. But this is simply logical reasoning. So let's look at some basic definitions. When we talk about an accounting year, we are referring to the 12-month period adopted by a company for preparing its financial statements. When we talk about a financial year, we are referring to the period during which a company earns its income and carries out its business activities. And when we talk about an assessment year, we are referring to the year immediately following the financial year, during which the tax authority assesses the income earned in the preceding financial year. What we are dealing with in this situation is the financial year and the assessment year. It is our firm position that the financial year is 2025, and at the time those financial transactions took place, the laws in force were not the Nigerian Tax Act or the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. The applicable law was the Companies Income Tax Act 2021, as amended. Those were the laws in operation. Therefore, there should not be any disconnect. The key point is this: all companies are expected to file their 2025 financial transactions based on the Companies Income Tax Act rates. Why? Going forward, VAT filings for January, February, March will be in line with 2026 Nigerian Tax Act. However, corporate taxes relating to the 2025 financial year should, without being unnecessarily technical, be based on the law that was applicable in 2025. Let me give a simple illustration. Suppose a company provided services to the Nigerian Revenue Service in May 2025. At that time, the applicable VAT rate was 7.5% and the applicable withholding tax rate was 10%. Those transactions were completed in May 2025. Invoices were raised. Payments were made by the Nigerian Revenue Service, and the transactions were fully consummated. Now, for the purpose of clarity, assume that the Nigerian Tax Act, which took effect on the 1st of January 2026, increased the VAT rate to 10%, the withholding tax rate at 15%. Would any tax authority reasonably expect that company to issue revised invoices reflecting a 10% VAT rate, withholding tax 15%, and send them back to the Nigerian Revenue Service so that the additional VAT could be paid? Of course not. Why? Because those transactions took place in May 2025, when the Companies Income Tax Act of 2021 and the applicable tax laws of that period were in force, not the Nigerian Tax Act. It is based on this same logic and professional reasoning that we at JE Consulting maintain that all financial activities undertaken in 2025 should, and indeed must, be governed by the tax laws that were applicable in 2025. But if the Nigerian Tax Act has changed filing deadlines, for example, if companies with December year-end accounts are now required to file their returns by April instead of June, then companies that prepared their 2025 financial statements using the applicable 2025 tax laws must nevertheless comply with the new filing deadline prescribed under the Nigerian Tax Act. Failure to file by the new deadline would constitute non-compliance, because although the computation of the tax should be based on the law applicable during the 2025 financial year, the procedure for filing the return is governed by the law in force at the time of filing. However, if you have any doubts or you disagree with our position, as I have always said, though I may be a child, I am open and ready to engage in a public debate with anyone who holds a different professional opinion. Thank you.